Senior showmanship is entering the ring. Senior showmanship entering the ring. As we bring in the first class, senior showmanship, I want to introduce our judge today. Originally from Elkhart, Indiana, Connor Brew became very involved showing as well as judging. He followed that by attending South Plains College in Levelland, Texas. There, Connor was named the high individual at the American Royal and the National Western, while also being named an academic All-American. He then made his way to Texas Tech University to complete his bachelor's degree in animal science with a business concentration. Connor and his wife Mallory currently reside in Lubbock, Texas, where he serves as a livestock judging coach at South Plains College and enjoys evaluating shows and working with youth nationwide. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm round of applause to Connor Brew, our judge for the day. Thank you. And Connor, from me, good luck, because if you're a judging coach, I'm sure your team's somewhere, because I'm sure they're competing tomorrow. Andis is a proud sponsor of the National Western Stock Show. From clippers to education, Andis is here to support top-notch grooming and fitting for every champion. Let's celebrate the best in livestock and clipping excellence.
Well, welcome here. Good morning, and it's certainly a pleasure to be here with you at the National Western. This show, this place in Denver, Colorado, holds a special place in my heart. Never had the ability to come out here and show, but I've been here for the last 8 or so years in the judging contest. And the memories, and more importantly, getting down I-70 West and being blinded by the sun, people running 95, trying to run you over, coming to the stock show, there's something about it to me. So I'm excited to be here with you here today, work through your your breeding ewe show, and my goodness, guys, we start out with a really, really good group. We got 2 heats in your senior division, so we're going to work through, we're going to pull a few and talk about them. I like these 4 young ladies here to come back for your final drop, just a little more consistent. their feet and leg placement and the way they get themselves positioned on the front end. As we go through the day, I'm going to talk to each and every kid if I can throughout showmanship and your show. We got plenty of time here. Young lady, while you want to keep for me over there with your fleece ewe, at times we maybe get those front legs a little splayed out for me and that neck a little far towards you for my liking. I wish we could rock that front end back just a little bit, and at times we'll maybe a stagger back legs just a little bit for me there. Buddy in the purple shirt with that kind of hampy ewe lamb that stands second in line, man, he's a good hand. He's a really, really good showman, and he's got a stubborn type of a sheep here. She kind of wants to fire and jump and launch on him there from the side and kind of doesn't want to set down on her front feet. For me, buddy, at times, I wish we'd reach back and set those back legs a little square at this point instead of bumping her. And again, I know she's wanting to fire up. The way you stand on the front end, you clamp the nose, you get the ears up, a great brace. Love all those things. Versus these four young ladies, wish we could have got a set just a little square the longer we work through here. Young lady with this big stout ewe that stands third in line, you got one that you do a really good job on the front end as well. I like the way you keep the nose down, the front end's where it needs to be. At times we get her a little overstretched off her offside back show leg, and when you get that leg just staggered out a little bit, she'll roll up in her top, she'll round in her hip just a little bit for me. I wish we could maybe shake her out and level her top out just a little bit there. Young lady here stands back in the line with the solid black ewe here, just so poised. And the way she gets around the ring, you can see right there, the head, the front end's where it needs to be. I caught you a couple times with this show side back leg a little far back. And then, guys, as we move through the rest of the day for you younger showmen, as we make some pulls and we get some sheep moved around the ring, let's make sure we're filling that spot just a little bit quicker, move up there and make the ring just a little bit shorter on us there. So, guys, I thought this was a great group of 8 here to start us out in heat number 1. I'm going to ask as we go through the day here, we got a good crowd built up. Please give all of them a nice big round of applause here. Good way to start.
Entering the ring is Heat 2 of Senior Showmanship. Heat 2 of Senior Showmanship entering the ring at this time. John Deere is the official agricultural and turf equipment provider of the National Western Stock Show. Visit your local John Deere dealer for great deals now, and remember, nothing runs like a Deere. Family, work, pets, land, Murdoch's has you covered with jeans and boots, hardware and fencing, toys, tack, and so much more. Shop Murdoch's online or find your store at murdochs.com.
Well, a little bit of a bigger heat here as we move into your second group. We're going to keep 10 of them back here for our final drive. I kept a few more here in this group because I thought the cutoff line was just a little bit closer maybe than our last decision. Young lady up front there at the big stout blue ewe, you do a whale of a job just getting on the front end, know where I'm at. You're very intense and you have a good purpose. And the way you go back and set those legs, we were a little slower getting around the sides when I came around the front end. And at times we'll maybe let that ewe get just a little weak in her top line and wish we maybe reach back into her belly. And I think that would level out her back and let her sit her hip down into you just a little bit. I really like your poise on the front end. You're very, very intense. Young lady, I feel for you because I think you're a hammer. When you get her stuck and put together, back leg placement, brace, body positioning is really, really good. At times we'll get those front feet just a little staggered for myself. Big thing, if you know me and the type of stock I like, they got to be able to get out and go. And she was not your best partner today, and I feel for you. I know it's tough. She kind of wanted to lock up the whole way around and kind of drag herself. But again, I could forgive you there if we got those front feet just a little square. I love what you do on the front end, no doubt about it there. Young lady that comes in next here, kind of the blue striped shirt, do a really good job just getting the head, the neck where it needs to be. I like your feet and leg placement as much as anybody here in the group. At times, like right now, young lady, we'll get that shoulder a little far towards me and a little out of line with the rest of the sheep. I wish we could maybe see her just a little more parallel and in line with the other sheep versus having her shoulder kicked out towards me just a little bit. You were a really close call for myself, young lady, with kind of a silver ewe in the back because I really like the way you get down, you get a good brace. I like the way you keep the top line laid in. For me and my kind, you kind of get that nose a little high to the sky, and I like to keep that nose a little more leveled out. And at times, we set those back legs just a little close together. Wish we could set her wider, tuck that nose down just a little bit there. So an excellent group, guys. My goodness, this showmanship division, just 2 heats in, has been very, very good. Please give them a nice hand here, if you would, as they exit.
Entering the ring is the champion drive of senior showmanship. Entering the ring is the champion drive of senior showmanship. Saunders was locally founded in 1972 and is now one of the largest and most stable construction companies in Colorado. Saunders offers well-paid positions with opportunities for career growth. visit us at www.saunders.incorporated.com, for information on career opportunities. Again, that is www.saundersincorporated.com for information on career opportunities. Sullivan Supply is a family owned and operated company founded in 1989. As the innovative leader in livestock show supplies, Sullivan Supply has kept the values of hard work, family ties, and quality products at its core. Sullivan Supply is proud to service the livestock industry and wishes all the exhibitors at the National Western the best of luck. Superior Farms is proud to help sponsor the National Western Stock Show. We invite you to see more about how we help family farms. See the video at superiorfarms.com.
All right, as we get here to your senior drive, I took a little bit longer as I worked through these 2 heats into your final division, but you'll never hear me apologize for taking just a little longer in showmanship because I know the time, the effort that goes into it, and hopefully you guys realize we left some good showmen back in their heats, and then we had 10 of them out here I thought were wide good, and a lot of difference here. What makes showmanship challenging for me is you get one view and you think you're a class winner and you just hope you excel the whole way through, and then maybe there's one thing I see or cut in a short corner or you maybe not acting just perfect for us that'll get a just in a pickle here. I talked to a few of them down the line here. These 2 young ladies I thought were exceptional and very, very good. They're a little more two-piece in the way they get their sheep set up. They pop them, they brace them, and then they have to go into a different position, and I thought that's where these 3 were a little smoother in the way they kind of got out and about. The young lady, I talked to her with kind of the darker blue ewe, maybe a little shorter in the way she took the, and then at times maybe just a little bit off in terms of her feet placement. These 2 I think are exceptional, and they hit me very, very hard in their heat. They do things just a little differently as far as their style goes. One of them's a little quicker and probably just a little more purposeful. One of them I thought just used the ring to the best of her ability, and always when I came back from the side had that ewe looking very, very complete. So again, I thought the young lady up front there probably a little more intense, probably a little more my speed from the side. Young lady, I love the way you use the ring and the way you navigate the whole surface. You really get that ewe put together in a nice fashion there. The one that hit me just really, really hard from the time they came into the heat, and that's what it's about, heat to final drive and always having that sheep looking the part. My favorite one, and who your champion senior showman at the National Western is going to be, young lady up front there's your champion, young lady behind reserve. Congrats.
Entering the ring is the only class of juniors. This will be placed. Champion and reserve will be selected out of this class. Results of senior showmanship. 10th place, Eli Netter. 9th place went to Megan Wacker. 8th place went to Reagan Werner. 7th place, Kinley Joe Toll. 6th place, Afton McIntosh. 5th place went to Regan Allen. 4th, Blair Sanchez. 3rd place, I don't know, got 2 seconds. Oh, there it is. Jocelyn Haubert. 2nd place went to Jalen Miner. And your champion, senior showman, is Lucinda Mays. In the ring is the juniors. And as I said, this class will be selected for Grand Reserve because it's the only class of juniors. Weaver Livestock is committed to helping you be the very best you can be. Stop by their booth between the Junior Barn and Stadium Arena to check out their full line of show supplies backed by industry experts. Weaver is devoted to fueling your enthusiasm for showing livestock with innovative products here at the National Western Stock Show. Colorado Farm Show is one of the largest and oldest farm shows in the nation, and the tradition continues. January 28th, 29th, and 30th at Island Grove Park in Greeley, Colorado. See the latest agricultural equipment, visit over 300 exhibitors, attend free seminars with more than 60 engaging speakers, and network to create long-lasting connections. For more info, go to coloradofarmshow.com. Common Spirit Health is the proud presenting partner and official first aid provider of the National Western Stock Show. Common Spirit is committed to unleashing the healing power of humanity through human kindness. Learn more at mountain.commonspirit.org.
well, just one group here as we move into your next age group of showmanship. So, again, we'll take just a little longer to make sure we talk to each and every one of them here. It's challenging when you do a breeding sheep showmanship because, again, I love wool sheep. That's what I started in the Breeding Sheep All-American show before I ever got into the weather. So I promise you two down there, I didn't sort you down just because you're showing wool sheep. We talked just a little bit as we got into this group that was so challenging for me to put together. Feet and leg placement became an utmost priority for myself. And so we start down with the back feet square, and then we can work up from there. Because I thought both those young ladies down there, as smooth, as poised, and as calm as anybody here in the group, and I love the way you guys get them put together, need those feet just a little square. Young lady right there that stands in the middle, we need to get that feet and legs a little square as well. And at times, she'll roll up there in her top line. We talked this man here with the kind of longer wooled ewe. That ewe probably outweighs him double, and he does a great job getting her racked up as good as anybody in the group. On the front end, you need to get those feet just a little square. This guy right here, she did not want to get out and be a leader for you, so I didn't discredit you there because I love what you do on the front end. Whoever's helped you get the nose down, the ears up, and taught you that, good on them, because I really, really like that. We maybe get her a little soft in her handle as we talked, and I wish we could get her out and go just a little smoother. These two are challenging for me because they're very, very different, and they're showing different types of sheep, so you got to figure out where you want to be. Little boy there in the back in the green, he's got himself a very, very nice ewe, and she is fired up. When she came in, her ears were cocked forward, and she wanted to run on him, and she just doesn't want to sit and stand still for him. But guys, watch right there. When he gets her put together, that man knows what's up, and he knows how to get the job done, and I like that about him. Brace, front end, intensity, absolutely love, buddy. We need to get her set just a little square, and at times we're maybe just not as smooth as what this young man in the pink is, but I thought you were an absolute hand and a good hammer there. Man, you're just really consistent, and you just don't make any big holes or flaws, and I love that about you. Every time I look back, your ewes set up. Every time I look back, your feet are square, and then you do a really good job when you get out and go in motion. I didn't know maybe if you were just as intense and as rock hard in terms of brace as a few others, but to me, that's why you stand out here in this group, because you're so complete and so smooth from the time you hit the gate to right now. I just thought you did an exceptional job. So, guys, I'll tell you, that was a really tough group. Please don't be disappointed in yourself if you're down the line, because we could bring another judge in tomorrow, and we're going to do some different things if your sheep are acting just a little different here in the small ring. So, for me, the one that's just the most consistent from the time they came in to the time they left, I like the young man in the pink there to be your champion. Young guy in the green there's going to be reserved. Congrats.
Results of junior showmanship. 7th place went to Emma Marks. 6th place, Viola Fledge. 5th place went to Scotland Armejo. 4th, Tyler Sutherland. 3rd place went to Gavin Bachman. 2nd to Braun Lashmet. And your champion junior showman is Wyatt Helbrun. Yeah, Wyatt Helbrun, your champion junior showman. Next in the ring is Peewee's. Peewee showmanship next in the ring.
Two, one, one, two, two, two. Two, two, one, one, two, 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 one, one, two, two, one, two, two. Hey, 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 hey. One, two, 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 one, two, two, Hey, 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 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2. Hey, 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 1, 1, 2. Ha, ha, ha.
Take your clipping fitting skills to the next level with the Emerge and Pulse ZR2 clippers from Andis. Experience the perfect trifecta of control, power, and efficiency to reach flawless finishes. Find them at your Andis dealer today.
All right, as we get to the interior and your showmanship divisions, we just got 4 Peewees here. So before we do anything, these 4 are working really, really hard, and we got some stubborn sheep out here, and they're doing a great job staying with it here. Please, if you would, give them a nice big round of applause here for all 4 of them. Again, it's fun at this age, just seeing the tricks and the trades that these young people can come up with by watching the older kids. And it's a testament, you parents, the people helping these young people, there are some really, really good hands. All 4 of them do an excellent job out here. What we're going to do, since there's just 4 of them, I'm going to talk about all 4 of them here in no particular order, and then we'll go out and we'll just shake their hands, 1, 2, 3, 4, so there's no confusion. Starting up front there, young lady with kind of the really cool color to you there, the fleeced ewe. She is stubborn, and she's wanting to roll on you, sweetie, but you do a really good job out in motion. The way she gets out and goes with that ewe, you can tell the time, the effort, and the preparation's been there. I wish she'd calm down for you and we could see her set just a little square and the way her feet and legs come together, but I really, really like your style. Thought I was seeing double for a second because the speckle ewe's back in here with another hand on the front end. And this young lady here, she's good, and she's mighty fine in the way she gets her put together. Excellent intensity, excellent brace, and then still gets her put together in a very, very elite, high-caliber package. Sweetie, I'm going to critique you just a little bit because I think you're good enough to be able to work on it going forward. Let's bump her back a half step and get those back legs just a little square there, and we're off to the races because I think you're in marvelous hand there on the front end. Young lady here with the more Southdown appearing ewe, just super smooth and calm and collected. Probably doesn't get the same brace as either the young showman on either end of her, but I really like just how smooth she is. She gets that sheep's head put right on her shoulder and just looks very, very calm. Wish we'd get a little more intensity, a little more brace there. Young lady here in the back, she has an absolute war horse, a stout, powerful ewe that outweighs her by a bunch. She came in and didn't want to run or walk and get going for her, and then she got over here and wanted to spin on her there. So I really liked the way you navigated this sheep. You stayed calm, you stayed poised, and you got back to business, and that's hard to do at your age, and I respect it. Likewise, with the young lady in front of her, head on her shoulder, neck back, good brace, and all that fits true. Again, the call we're making on you, young lady, do we get those legs square enough? Do we keep the top line in check? And is she just behaving the best for you there? I thought that was the decision for me. So, guys, this is a really, really close call on who needs to be your champion, and then we'll sort them down the line here. So we're going to go through. We'll shake their hands, 1, 2, 3, 4. But if we do, please give them a nice big round of applause one more time here as we round out showmanship.
Results of Peewee showmanship. 4th place, Charlie Cowdery. 3rd place went to Oakley Toll. 2nd, Tessa Henderson. And your champion Peewee is Harper Lashmet. Again, 5-minute break, and we will start our breed show. John Deere is the official agricultural and turf equipment provider of the National Western Stock Show. Visit your local John Deere dealer for great deals now, and remember, nothing runs like a Deere. At Murdoch, save on the essentials you need, like jeans, boots, hardware, pet supplies, fencing, and so much more. Shop Murdoch's online or find your store at murdochs.com. Saunders was locally founded in 1972 and is now one of the largest and most stable construction companies in Colorado. Saunders offers well paid positions with opportunities for career growth. Visit us at www.saundersincorporated.com for information on career opportunities. Sullivan Supply is a family-owned and operated company founded in 1989. As the innovative leader in livestock show supplies, Sullivan Supply has kept their values of hard work, family ties, and quality products at its core. Sullivan Supply is proud to service the livestock industry and wishes all of the exhibitors at the National Western the best of luck. Superior Farms American Lamb is delicious and easy to cook. Visit superiorfarms.com for great recipes and ask for American Lamb at your favorite restaurant. Weaver Livestock is committed to helping you be the very best you can be. Stop by their booth between the Junior Barn and the Stadium Arena to check out their full line of show supplies backed by industry experts. Weavers is devoted to fueling your enthusiasm for showing livestock with innovative products here at the National Western Stock Show.
All right, as we get the ball rolling in your sheep show here, showmanship was very, very good, but as any judge will tell you, this is where we like to get the work done. Just because showmanship is so challenging and so opinionated, I like this class of Hampshires, and we run into a pair of them that are awfully different. The one to me that sets the mold for the kind and type I like, a little fresher, a bit more youthful, up through her front end, her high quality in her handle, is the young lady there in the purple shirt. That's a long-bodied, very athletic, very feminine and refined type of a female that looks like a lady. Probably isn't just as massive and as powerful as the sheep that lands in second, but I like her structure. I like her look. Just a little nicer there. Congratulations, young lady, on your champion Hampshire here at the National Western. We get into the ewe that comes here in second. She is a real for this young lady. She is powerful down her back. She's opened up down her top, and she's probably just a bit thicker. When I get right in behind her in relation to your winner, young lady, a little plainer shouldered for me, a little plainer when I get on top of her, and just a little rounder when I watch her walk. But I like that ewe's power, no doubt. The ewe that rounds us out here maybe matches up with your class winner, a little more ladylike, a little more feminine, really good in her structure, probably just a little smaller footed, a little more closed up. When I got right in behind her, I think she's going to need just a bit more power as we go down the road there. So three good Hampshires here, three good showmen to start us out here. My compliments to all three of you.
Results in the Hampshire ewes. In third place, Kylie Davies. Second place went to McKinley Sunderland. And your winner and grand champion of the Hamp Ewe Lambs is Kinley Joe Toll. Next in, Southdowns. Southdown Ewe Lambs next in the ring. The Colorado Farm Show is one of the largest and oldest farm shows in the nation, and the tradition continues. January 28th, 29th, and 30th at Island Grove Park in Greeley, Colorado. See the latest agricultural equipment, visit over 300 exhibitors, attend free seminars with more than 60 engaging speakers, and network to create long-lasting connections. For more information, go to coloradofarmshow.com. Common Spirit Health is the proud presenting partner and official first aid provider of the National Western Stock Show. Common Spirit is committed to unleashing the healing power of humanity through human kindness. Learn more at mountain.commonspirit.org.
Hey, an excellent group of Southdowns here. Just one group of them, 5 of them. If you know me, this is the breed I started on, and they hold such a soft spot in my heart here. This is a really nice class from 1 to 5. Ideally for me, guys, I like both your sheep. Young ladies here up front, two marvelous hands. They're very different. If you guys are looking on camera, looking ringside, I will never tell you those two look the same because they don't. Ideally for me, guys, I'd like to be somewhere in the middle. Maybe take the pretty here, the power here, and put it together. For me, though, the one that just sticks out like a sore thumb as far as uniqueness is the young lady in the cheetah black shirt there. Beautiful in her silhouette, and I'm telling you, she is packing some heat. When you get right behind her, square rump, big fat hind leg that's still very, very comfortable. She's not as up and out and as ladylike through her front end as the sheep in second, but I like her breed character. I like her look, and she is extra powerful and still balances really, really nice. We got more of a later maturing, more of my speed probably from the side that comes here in second. That ewe runs uphill. She's good in her shoulder. She's very ladylike. For me, young lady, the call I had to make on her, I get to the 3/4, a little closed up in her hip, a little flatter in her stifle, and just a little plainer and closed up all the way through. Again, I like both of those sheep. I think they're very, very good. Different purposes, different flocks. Could use both of them there. I'd like to put them both together because I think they're good sheep. We get into a sheep here in third. You're an excellent hand as well. I think all 3 of them just do a marvelous job. I like this ewe in terms of her nose, her ear, her head set, and still has a really good look through the front third of her body. Great in her flank, good in her look. Like the sheep ahead of you, young lady, a little plainer when I get in behind her, a little staler when I get on top of her. I thought she was bolder in her body, and then the ewe that comes right in behind her, that was a decision for me there. Now, young man, your ewe that comes in next in the 4 spot, she's actually sounder in her spine, and I like her flexibility, a little nicer than this ewe. When that pair gets out and goes, she's a little plainer chested, she's a little flatter bodied, she's a little closed up. When I got right in behind her, I like her feet and leg structure, and again, you do a great job on the front end. Your ewe tricks me as well because she probably has a little more growth and a little more size. Really nice through her front end. She's level in her just a little flat when I get right in behind her, a little plain when I get my hands on her, and I wish I could open her up. So, guys, it's a great class of Southdowns, all 5 of them, very good stock with a good pair there on the top end.
Results of the Southdown ewe lambs. In 5th place, Wyatt Helbron. 4th place, Wyatt Helbron. 3rd went to Kinley Joe Toll. 2nd and reserve grand, Afton McIntosh. And your grand champion Southdown ewe lamb was Caden Healy Mitchell. Your single Suffolk is in the ring.
Well, we just have a single entry here in your Suffolk division. Young man with his ewe Farah here. She was stubborn trying to walk around in showmanship, and she still doesn't want to get out and go for you here. But, man, that's a good ewe. She represents her breed so well. Her body shape, and then if you guys are in the stands right in behind her there, she is really powerful. She's opened up. She's square-made. Probably a little plainer shouldered, and then obviously could stouten her up just a little bit. My least favorite part about her is probably just her attitude. She doesn't want to get out here and walk and show herself off, but she is bold. She's powerful. She's maternal. well. And as the young man said, I guess everybody was a little intimidated and didn't want to show against the pair there. If you guys would, give them a good round of applause here. Young guys doing a good job here at the single entry.
Results of the Suffolk ewe lambs. First place and grand champion is Tyler Sutherland. Tyler Sutherland is first and grand champion. Next in the ring, other meat breeds. Next in, other meat breeds. Sullivan Supply is a family owned and operated company founded in 1989. As the innovative leader in livestock show supplies, Sullivan Supply has kept the values of hard work, family ties, and quality products at its core. Sullivan Supply is proud to service the livestock industry and wishes all the exhibitors at the National Western Stock Show the best of luck. Andis is a proud sponsor of the National Western Stock Show, from clippers to education. Andis is here to support top-notch grooming and fitting for every champion. Let's celebrate the best in livestock and clipping excellence. John Deere is the official agricultural and turf equipment provider of the National Western Stock Show. Visit your local John Deere dealer for great deals now, and remember, nothing runs like a Deere. Saunders was locally founded in 1972 and is now one of the largest and most stable construction companies in Colorado. Saunders offers well-paid positions with opportunities for career growth. Visit us at www.saundersincorporated.com for information on career opportunities.
All right, around ringside here, our biggest class we've had. And if you're looking in around ringside, we have every color, shape, size, and just different mold that I think you could ever come up with in a show sheep world. So I took a little longer, and I know there's some challenge here as we get some of the blue ewe and kind of the Hampshire ewe stacked against the white sheep up front. So there's a lot of challenge for myself in figuring out where I want to be as we walk them and we study stock for stock. In motion, we study the structure and just the angles off either end. I'm the most comfortable using these two ewes up front. I love their feet and leg structure. To me, they're sounder built than what's coming in behind in 3 and 4, and still look just a little more maternal in that breath as well. The one that leads, kind of the more speckled up one of the young ladies up front, she just dropped dead from the side. To me, that ewe looks as ladylike, as feminine up front, as good in her body and as good in her hip and hind leg as you can make them when you study them in motion. I read her more youthful up through her front end than the sheep coming in behind, and just a little sounder out of her rear leg there. She's not as powerful down her back and right from behind as maybe the blue ewe in 3 or the ewe in 4, but for me, she has enough enough muscle in the group, and then her feet and leg structure, her elegance, her lady look. And this is going to take a drop-dead picture, and we set her up from the side. That's where I landed there on that particular sheep. We get into the ewe here in second, and, buddy, you're a good hand. When you get this one put together, she is so good. Right out of the backside of her shoulder, bold body shape, really fresh, really dialed in when you get to the touch. And then I do like her feet and legs a little nicer than what's coming into the blue ewe right in behind. She's a little plainer up through her shoulder and her chest floor, a little rounder as far as her hip and her hind leg in motion. Deadly good pair of white influence sheep. I think breed for breed, as we stack the speckles up against the blues, a little more uniqueness in either of those two sheep there. I love both of them. I think they're very, very good. Now, young lady, your blue ewe that lands here in third, if we're watching around ringside here online, this is the tricky one for me. I think there's some differences in how you interpret. She is as powerful down her back, as ripped up muscled, and as big-ended as any of them. Just packs a serious punch from nose to tail and tail to her toe. For me and my kind, as we start sitting back and studying female for female, just a little coarse and a little round up through her front end. We get to her loin edge and her hip and her hind leg and study her in motion. She'll round and she'll just roll and hits me a little PC in motion. I love her power standing still, and if you want to roll with her for that reason, I'm right there with it. I read her just a little coarse in relation to the white ewes up front. A lot of the same can be said about this ewe here in 4. When she's in park, she can be your class winner. Back, square-hipped, hampy-featured with a good look to her up front. I study her in motion. She's a little shorter, strided out of her front end and her rear structure, and I wish she was just more athletic in the way she got out and went. We have that here in the white ewe that rounds out your top 5. Got the big legs, the big furry legs with the good look to her up front. She's a little tight in her flank for me, young lady, when I study her from the side, and that'll throw off her underline. And then for as tall as she is, I want to bust her apart when I get right in behind. You're a great showman, and she has a great look and a great set of feet and legs. I honestly thought about running her up 2 spots because I like her feet and leg structure. I didn't know if her underline and her balance from behind was just good enough. That's a darn nice ewe to round out your top 5. I talked to all of them down the line here, but I want to highlight this fitted ewe here because, guys, you get beneath the wool, and that is as big-backed, as true-ended, and as square-made of a sheep. In this particular lineup, she's a little off in her hind leg, a little shorter-bodied for me. Got a good piebald that's just a little closed up, like the front 2/3 here. Good body here, need more bone here, but a great class down the line. Please give him a good round of applause here.
Results in the other meat breeds. In 10th place, Wyatt Helbrand. 9th place went to Blair Sanchez. 8th, Kinley Joe Toll. 7th place, Megan Wacker. 6th place, Gavin Bachman. 5th, Blair Sanchez. 4th, Eli Meter. 3rd place went to Jocelyn Hobart. 2nd, Braun Lashmet, and that would be your reserve champion. And your champion of other meat breeds is Braun Lashmet. Entering the ring is Yearling ewe. Yearling ewe entering the ring, 2 in the class. Sullivan Supply is a family-owned and operated company founded in 1989. As the innovative leader in livestock show supplies, Sullivan Supply has kept the values of hard work, family ties, and quality products at its core. Sullivan Supply is proud to service the livestock industry and wishes all the exhibitors here at the National Western the best of luck. Ready to try a delicious change? Serve your family American lamb from Superior Farms. There are so many ways to enjoy lamb with the easy recipes at superiorfarms.com.
Well, as we get into your pair here of your yearling ewes and your crossbred division, we're not making it easy on a guy here at the National Western, throwing these different breeds with a little longer wool in here. I like both these sheep, and I think you're going to have to bring a good one to turn them here in a few. There is an absolute mammoth amongst us, and that's the ewe up front there. That one is good, and she is very, very good. Everywhere you study her, stout from nose to tail, and her width progression, for me, from a three-quarter view, when you study her body shape to her hip and hind end, she has an absolute war horsepower when you get right in behind her. Super stout, opened up. I honestly think the ewe behind probably uses her front structure a little nicer when we study them in motion, but those are splitting details between a great pair. She is dialed in, maxed out, and absolutely ready to rumble. We'll see how she stacks up here in a bit because I'm a large, large fan of that piece of stock right there. We're getting to the white ewe in second. Young lady's ewe called Sissy here. She is so good in motion. I love her front structure, the way she gets out and goes. Got a great hind leg laid into her as well. And still, when you get beneath the wool, enough shape, enough body, and a very square hip laid into her. Young lady, in relation to our class winner there, just a little plainer for me from the outside looking in. Maybe not the same bells and extras there. Guys, that's a tremendous pair. Two good showmen here. Please give them a good hand here if you would. That's a great way to start your spread.
Yearling ewes. And your reserve grand champion, Harper Leschmidt. And your first place and your champion, Eli Meter. Entering the ring is the first heat of Weathershire Dam. We'll have two classes, and then we'll come back in for the grand drive. Exhibitors in the ring, a reminder, first and second in this class will come back for the grand drive right after the next class. So first and second out of this class will have to come back in for grand and reserve selection after the completion of the next class. Thank you. Weaver Livestock is committed to helping you be the very best you can be. Stop by their booth between the Junior Barn and Stadium Arena to check out their full line of show supplies backed by industry experts. Weaver is devoted to fueling your enthusiasm for showing livestock with innovative products here at the National Western Stock Show.
Well, again, as we get into your first group here and more of your ewe lamb division, guys, there is a huge weight spread. I don't know what it is, but we have some big size differences as we get into 2, 3 versus maybe 4 and 5. Again, I put it together of where I want to be. I'm not here to size them out. I'm here to hopefully find the stock I like from a balance, a structure, design standpoint. Right there's your look of your class winner. To me, she's so much more youthful than everything that's coming in right behind. It's more evident when you get out of them and study them in motion, just the use and the youthfulness to her front end. To still be the best when you get on top of her as far as her condition goes. Not as important for me just from a show ring perspective. I think as we start talking about these ewes in their breeding life, I like that she's leaner than 2 and 3. I like that she's sounder than 2 and 3, and then she's still more youthful. When you study her up through her front end, she matches my kind as far as squareness, feet and leg structure, top line balance, and again, just looks more youthful to me than 2 and 3 when you get on top of them. We get into 2 and 3, and again, it's probably a little challenging because I'm not one of those guys that says they have to go first or third, but I think these two are really hard to split as far as their type and their kind. The ewe that comes here in second, as stout as you want them in terms of her back, her hip, her hind leg. In terms of her muscle, when you get on top of her, young lady, she's a shade fat for me. When I get behind her elbow pocket, more importantly, when I study her in motion, she'll drop out in her chest floor, her front end hits me just a bit 12:30 versus 12 o'clock when I get onto them. You're an excellent hand. You have been all day with a really, really stout, attractive sheep. She has a big-time glow when you study her from the side. Again, I need to see her use her front end better. She's just a little chubby, a little plain when I get onto her. A lot of the same can be said about the ewe that lands here in third. You get right in behind her, an absolute powerhouse. When you get down her top and out of her hip, she too's a little short. Out of her front end, when I study her in motion, a little chopped front structure, a little out in her chest and her front end, and then I get on top of her. Of the three, the stalest in terms of her muscle shape and her texture. So I thought 2 and 3 were very similar, and your class winner was kind of an outlier. You needed to figure out where you wanted to be. Again, I try to stay true to athletic stock that are youthful, that are fresh, not just big, powerful stock when you get into them. I like this ewe as much as our class winner. I didn't think she matched up with 2 and 3 or had the same bells as your class winner there. Our front 2/3 are as good as anything in class. Youthful, sound, athletic. I need more hip. I need more loin. When I get into her from behind, a little extra set to her hind leg as well. Young lady, I really like the front 2/3 of your sheep that rounds out our top 5. She's as fronted, as ladylike, as good in her chest floor, and as fresh as anything here in the grouping. For me, young lady, she's a little small boned, a little closed up, and then from the side, she'll kind of kick up in her hip and her tail head just a little bit, and that'll throw off her balance there. Again, I talked to the showman down the line. We got a stout, powerful one that's a little coarse, a big one that's a little flat, a really good brood ewe that's just a little soft, and then handles great. That's just a little tight in motion there. So I thought that class was really tough. All three of them there on the top end, but please compliment them with a nice round of applause here if you would.
Results of the first class of Weather Dam. 8th place went to Gavin Bachman. 7th place, Lucinda Mares. 6th place, LCCC Livestock Show Team. 5th place went to Iris Lower. 4th, Iris Lower. 3rd place, Afton McIntosh. 2nd, and will come back in for the grand drive in the Weathersire Dam class, is Lucinda Mares. And first, who will also come back in for the champion drive, is Jalen Miner. Entering the ring is the 2nd class of Weathersire Dam. Upon completion of this class, we will have the grand drive of Weathersire Dam. The Colorado Farm Show is one of the largest and oldest farm shows in the nation, and the tradition continues January 28th, 29th, and 30th at Island Grove Park in Greeley, Colorado. See the largest agricultural equipment, see the latest agricultural equipment, visit over 300 exhibitors, attend free seminars with more than 60 engaging speakers, and network to create long-lasting connections. For more information, go to coloradofarmshow.com.
Well, like we've had each and every class so far today, again, I'm not the weight police. I don't know what our spread here as we work through these things. There are some absolute units in 2 and 3 as far as power goes, but this one that wins is pretty spicy. When you study her from the outside in, she's tiny whitey. In my mind, she is tiny, but she is absolutely mighty here in this group. Pound for pound, her back's the biggest. Pound for pound, her hip's the biggest. You get off to her, and her sternum placement, her underline balance, she looks so ladylike, but still packs some punch when you get into her. And then you guys watch her go in motion, athleticism at her finest. I like that piece of stock. Again, she's not the biggest, she's not the fluffiest or the widest, but right there's your look of her. Everything fits. Youthful, fresh, athletic, all the terms. That's good stock, and I like her very, very well. You get right into this ewe in second, and she is absolutely packing a wagon right in from behind. That is a big hip, a big caboose, and a stout hind leg that I like very, very well. She's as muscular as you can make them down her back and right in from behind, yet still for a powerful sheep, everything fits together from her nose to her shoulder to her hip. It all still balances pretty well. In relation to our class winner, we got to make a call. One of these might be your champion at the National Western. She's a little coarser through her front third, and then for me, from the profile, she'll weaken in her loin, she'll kick up in her tailhead, and just hits me a little coarse from the outside looking in. We get into this big ewe here in third, a little past 12 o'clock. For me, she is absolutely massive and opened up and very broody in her body type. I still like her hind leg structure very, very well. Young lady, for me, in relation to the two ahead of you, just a little over the hill, a little plainer up through her front end. She'll round in her top, she'll camp her hind leg and round in her hip just a little bit. I wish she was just a bit more youthful in the way she came to us, but I like that ewe's broodiness. I like her structure. I like this ewe in showmanship, and I still do. As she comes out here, she's got a really nice look up through her shoulder and her front. And a really good pattern sheep as far as prettiness and athleticism. In this group, young lady, versus the top three, a little flat over her loin edge, a little flatter in her body shape. Just wanted to bust her apart when I got right in behind her. This ewe's tiny but very good as well. And maybe didn't size up with the rest of them, but she is square top, square hipped, and really muscular from end to end. A little straight in her hind leg, a little straight in her shoulder. I wish I could lengthen her out just a little bit there. A good hand on the front end of a very good back type of a sheep. I like this blue ewe as well. She is bold-bodied, she is maternal, and I think a guy could just use 100. Good flank, maternal, good females like her. You ran into an absolute heater of a class, a little plain when I get on top of her, a little smaller boned. Wish she hooked up a little better right there. I like her broodiness. This one, too, really stout as far as just her general build. I like her top shape. I need to open her up right here, and just the way her loin will hook into her tailhead, and just a little plainer there from the outside. So, guys, that was a great class from end to end, and I'm a large fan of your class winner there. My compliments to him. We'll work through your drive.
Results of the second class of Weathersire Dams. 7th place went to LCCC Livestock Show Team. 6th place, LCCC Livestock Show Team. 5th place, Jordan Meter. 4th place, Regan Allen. 3rd place, Megan Wacker. 2nd, reserve and will come back in for the grand drive, LCCC Livestock Show Team. And the winner of the second class of Weathersire Dams and will come back in for the champion drive, LaRae Cox. At this time, first and second out of the first Weathersire Dam and the second Weathersire Dam classes will come back in for the champion drive. So in the last one, it was LaRae Cox and LCCC Show Team. And in the first class of Weathersire Dam, it would be Jaylyn Miner and Lucinda Mayers. We need your report to the holding area for the champion drive.
All right, guys, we get out here for your champion ewe lamb drive here, and then we'll get your champion overall here in just a second. Before we go any further here, I think these 4 young ladies are as good of showmen, as good of hands as we've had in the ring so far today. So if you would, please join me in complimenting them for not only making it out here, but the work, the effort they put in. Please give them a good round of applause here, if you would. It makes the sheep judges' life tough but fun when you guys show this well. When you get them put together, you hide the faults so well out of these particular sheep. That's why myself, I'm just very comfortable studying them in motion. More importantly, I'm trying to take the showman out of it because, man, all 4 of these just can show the brakes off of them. And I wish you guys the best of luck as you go forward here. We're going to talk about all 4 just real briefly, and then we'll get you a champion. We had 3 of them in that first class. Actually, we had a blue ewe that lands in 4 that was really pretty and matched up with this ewe. She ran out of power, so I thought there was a trio of them. Between the trio, I liked the blue ewe very, very well, and I thought she was just the most genuine, not only in terms of her condition. I liked her structure the best. When we studied them in motion, square-footed, good structured, nice balance. She probably doesn't blow you away as much as anything out here in the lineup. A little plainer from the outside, maybe not just as massive as the ewe that was second in Class 1, maybe not as stout and powerful as second and 2, maybe not as whacked out looking as our Class 1 winner, but everything fits from end to end. She's super basic yet complete, and I love her structure. I I love her balance and the way everything fits together. My call on you, young lady, if you're going to be our champion or reserve in the division, does she just have the extras up through her chest and her front end? Is she just as grizzly backed and as massive when you get right in behind? That's the question that's running through my mind. We talked, there was a big stout pair of them in 2 and 3. I really like this ewe on the front end, and when this young lady gets the stick on her, she fits the part. She is big topped, really opened up, very dimensional from behind. When we get her out and take an excellent hand off the front end, she's maybe a little longer and mature in the length of her shoulder, a little chubby as far as her condition goes, but I like that sheep. She's got a good look to her and very opened up with a great hand. That was a good pair of them out of Class 1 there. We get into Class 2 here. In your second place, she's right there in the thick of it, right in the mix, because you guys have the view of her right there from the stands. That is a powerhouse amongst us here. Has every bit of shape and every bit of muscle that I could ever want in a show sheep. She is round-bodied, creased up, massive-ended, and super square in the way everything fits together. What's running through my mind and why you got beaten class, young lady, and why if you're going to get a bite here in this division, she's a little coarser in her shoulder and her breastbone. And I think we got a big deal here in the sheep industry right now. We're kicking those tail heads up just a little high to the sky and planting their hind legs just a little straighter. So I need to call, and my question mark on her, do I trust her structure? Do I trust her balance and her build as much as maybe a few others here in the lineup? She is the most powerful, and I have no problem saying that here in this lineup. That is a stout breeding piece, and I wish you the best of luck going down the road. Your class winner there, that's my kind. Again, she's not everybody's flavor or vanilla chocolate twist, if you would, but her body shape, her youthfulness, her athleticism is just so good to me. There's not a major hole in her. She could be a little better out of her hip. She's got a little extra set to her hind leg. Small trees in a very large forest. That's a good drive of them from end to end, and your champion to me sticks out like a sore thumb. I like this ewe right here to be your champion. My compliments. We drop in that second, and I think it gets closer here for reserve between these two blue ewes. They're totally different as far as their kind goes. We got a powerful one. We got a really complete one. So you need to figure out where you want to be between the two. And again, it's a challenging quest or a task for me as a show judge to figure it out. The one I like better from just a structure and a basic build and balance standpoint, I think her feet and legs match up with your champion there. I like our Class 1 winner to be reserved. Congratulations to her.
Your champion, Weathersire Dam, goes to LeRae Cox, and your reserve champion goes to Jalen Miner. Next in the ring, Yearling. Yearling ewe, Weathersire Dam. Yearling ewe, Weathersire Dam, next in the ring.
Well, as we're coming to a close here on your junior show, we have a very nice pair of yearling ewes to sit back, and there's probably just a little bit of a spread between the two of them as well. And young lady, I feel for you there in the back. I really like your ewe. We got a freakazoid up front there, and the young lady's sheep that leads, she's got a little extra set to her hind leg, if you're going to call a spade, but she is athletic. She prances the ring, got the white feature, the dapple hide, the great skin quality, and she looks like a lady, and I'm big on it. I like shape, I like muscle, but they got to look like females to me, and this judge's opinion. Up in her chest, creasy back, fat hind leg that knows how to go. Good stock. Again, congratulations to you. We're getting the ewe here in second. So safe and so fundamental. As you study her type and her kind, very long in terms of her step and her stride. She's very broody in terms of her flank line. I love her looseness of spine as well when you study her on the go. Young lady, in relation to your class winner there, a little plainer when I get down her top side over her loin edge. We could stouten up her foot size and open her up when I get right in behind. You're a great showman. You got the best out of her there and a good pair of them there. I like both those sheep. Congratulations to both of you.
Results of the Yearling ewe, Weathersire Dam. Second place went to Sophie Barant. First place, Lorraine Cox. Next in the ring is the grand drive for the junior show. Grand drive for the junior show, next in the ring. Be champion reserve of each breed. Come back and compete against each other for the grand overall female. Entering the ring. Is he bringing in seconds first, right? He's bringing reserve champions in first, or is he bringing champions in? He's bringing champions. Champion Hamp, Kinley Toll. Champion Southdown, Caden Healy Mitchell. Champion Suffolk, Tyler Sutherland. Champion Other Pure, Braun Lashmet. Champion Yearling, Eli Meter. Champion Weather Dam, Lorraine Cox. And Champion Weather Yearling, Lorraine Cox. Reserve Champion Hamp, McKinley Sutherland. Reserve Champion Southdown, Afton McIntosh. Reserve Champion Suffolk, there wasn't one. Reserve Champion Other Pure, Bruin Lashmet. Reserve Champion Yearling, Harper Lashmet. Reserve Champion Weather Dam, Jalen Miner. And your Reserve Champion Weather Yearling, Sophie Barant. Ladies and gentlemen, your grand drive for the junior show.
All right, guys, we come to an end here of your junior show. We'll work through your open in just a second. I'm not going to give you a big, long Grand Drive speech. I don't think many of you won't care to hear that. So I'll tell you, this has been so much fun. I've been waiting on this day for about 6 months now. I was in Utah judging a show when Jennifer gave me the call, and it has just been eating at my mind from that moment on to get here, to navigate this stupid little pole here in the middle of the ring and just have fun here at National Western, working through your young people. We started out with a group of showmen this morning that I thought were deadly good as we work through them, and you'll see some of them back out here that did very, very well. And man, the time, the effort, it has not gone unnoticed for myself. We started out with a trio of Hampshires that were really, really good, and the water got deep. As we moved back, I like your Southdown, I like your Suffolk. We had a crazy, crazy lineup. And the other meat breed, we had a blue ewe that stood third, that pushed these two speckles hard. Love these two, and man, this pair's good too. So guys, there's some good stock out here, and honestly, it was a little challenging figuring out where I wanted to be, because no matter what I do, there's going to be a really good piece of stock that's left out of here in this lineup. I'm going to talk about a few of them just so you know where I'm at, because again, there's nothing worse to me than going to a livestock show, getting beat, not knowing why. So I'm going to take a second. I'll tell you just a thing or two what I like about them. Again, I thought these four divisions were very, very good. The heat comes amongst the back three of them here for me. The oddball of the group is this one that wins kind of your more yearling older division here. This ewe is stout and muscular from nose to tail. Her shape of her stifle, the shape of her hip and her crotch when you get in behind her is so good in relation to the other two in behind. She is a powerful sheep that still balances. Very nice from the outside looking in. Buddy, the call on me, and in comparison to the two sheep right in behind you, of those three, she's probably the most mature through her shoulder blade and her scapula. She probably is the stalest when you get down her back line. And truthfully, pound for pound, she's the flattest in her body shape when you get right into them. Of the top three, we could lay her down in her tail head, we could freshen her up, we could tidy her up through her front end, but I like her standing still because she's muscular from behind and still has a big shape when you get to her. Again, she's probably a little coarse, a little deep, and a little plain for my liking there, but I like that sheep quite a good deal. We got into the next group. Young lady had both of them here, and this ewe is freaky to me, and I know we don't need to chase freaks everywhere, but that ewe right there can push the envelope to me. Her body shape, her underline progression, her squareness from behind, her high quality, her texture when you get onto her, I love and I think is really, really good. The call for me, if she needs to be your grand here today, she's a little shorter in the step of her hind leg. She's not as stout as either you on either side of her, and of those three, she probably looks the most petite, just from the outside looking in terms of her forearm or bone structure. She too, like the ewe that comes out of the class before her, at times will kick up just a little bit in her hip and plant a little weird in her hind leg. I thought she won that class amongst the rest of them off of youthfulness, underline balance. She pushes the envelope. There's no doubt about it. Maybe a little piecey if you're going to call a spade, but that ewe is freaked out and still fits the kind very, very well. We get into the last few. Man, she is really, really good. We talk maybe against the other two, has a little extra set to her hind leg, but that makes her so athletic to me. It's stout, it's flexible, and above that, a beautiful silhouette, a great shape down her top, and looks maternal to me, yet still looks youthful and fresh, and in her show shape, fits the part very, very well. She's not just the thickest. I think that's the ewe out of the first class. She's not the freakiest. I think it's the ewe right in front of her, but everything fits and goes in the right direction and still looks youthful and athletic when you get her here from the side. I like that ewe very, very well. So, again, don't want to take too long here. We'll get rolling on here with the show. To you guys that aren't going to get a bite here, I wish you the best of luck. Again, I've never won a show in my life. I've been on your guys' side more than ever. So, please, thank your family. Thank the people that help you here. Enjoy your time here at the National Western. Before we go further, please give them a good round of applause. We'll get you a champion in reserve. Said I wasn't going to take the mic, but if y'all know me, I like to ramble and tell you what's on my mind. I love that Grand. Again, to me, she's a combination of the freak there and the stout there with a beautiful look and the athletic build I love. Between these two ewes, they're very close. One of them's stouter, one of them's probably just a little more youthful. The one to me that just pushes the envelope in terms of underline balance, athleticism, being fresh, being dialed in, and I think she fits our Grand, and she needs to be reserved here at the National Western. Please join me again. Congratulate this young lady right here. She has your reserve.
Overall champion and overall grand champion and reserve grand champion in the junior show go to Lorraine Cox. Lorraine Cox has grand and reserve grand champion female in the junior show. 15-minute break until we start the open show. We're ready to start the open show, first class. Ram Lamb. Ram Lamb is the first class. Ram Lamb under a year of age.
All right, guys, we'll get around ringside here and start your open show. Your junior showmanship and your junior show was really, really good, and I had a lot of fun. There was some challenge there to work through. Hopefully, again, as we work through stock here today, we realize that maybe all of us have a little different opinion here or there, but hopefully you can see what I see. We start out with a really nice little buck lamb here the young man brings us. Guys, this thing is extra stout in his body shape. I love him when I get right in behind, very square in terms of his pin and his lower stifle. For being a powerful young buck, he's still very clean up through his shoulder and his front end with a nice hind leg to go along with it. Again, he's really complete and doesn't have a major hole. That's good stock. And again, two good showmen there. Congratulations, guys. Good way to start your open show.
Results of Ram Lamb under a year. Oklahoma Panhandle State University show team wins that class. Next is Rams, 1 year old but under 2. And then we'll have the selection of the champion Ram.
Well, another nice single entry yearling buck here, and I like this buck's maturity curve. He's got a good front end to him. His feet and leg structure is very, very nice and adequate when you study his foot structure. I like his hampy feature as well. He's got a full chop there to his head. Very good in terms of his breed character. We could power him up just a shot right in behind his shoulder and out of his tail head just for his length of body, but I like that buck's design. He's a good pattern type of stock, and again, we'll see how he matches up here with our buck lamb, but that's a nice pair of bucks to start us out. Well, these three do a very good job with these two buck lambs here. Just two entries, but I think they're both very, very nice. We discussed the young man there in the purple with your Class 1 buck lamb. He's just so fault-free and fundamental. His body shape, his width progression, he looks like he can inject his stock with a good shape and a good muscularity, but I'd still keep females in retention too because his feet and legs are nice. He's smooth-shouldered. He's got a very good balance from the outside looking in. The older buck's got a great hampy feature to him. I love his head color, his fullness of chops, his leg full, just a super sound, athletic type of a buck. You know, maybe not just as powerful down his top and right out of his hip as the buck lamb. We can maybe just open him up and power him up a little bit. I think you need to be a little careful who you kick him out to. Probably needs to go to a little more powerful type of a ewe. I think the little buck can probably be just a little more versatile there. So I took a little time because I like these two, and I think they're very nice, and they're deserving of it. My favorite one, I think, is just super complete and rock solid everywhere. I like the buck out of the first class, the young man in purple, to be your champion. We'll follow up young lady behind for reserve. Congrats.
Champion Ram Lamb goes to Oklahoma Panhandle State University Show Team, and your reserve champion goes to Kylie Davies. Next in the ring, ewe lamb under 1 year. Ewe lamb under 1 year. Next in the ring. Take your clipping fitting skills to the next level with the Emerge and Pulse ZR2 clippers from Andis. Experience the perfect trifecta of control, power, and efficiency to reach flawless finishes. Find them at your Andis dealer today.
Well, good big class here and some good stock as you work down the line here. Obviously, we're showing them in a little wool here on these meat breeds, so making sure we get through the wool and just study stock for stock. I thought the pair of them here up front, not only from the 3/4, were rounder in their body shape, they're bigger set when you get in behind. I like their power, I like their muscle, and they're very maternal. I like the one that wins in motion. She's better in the angle to me of her front structure. I like her chest placement and her athleticism, a little nicer amongst the pair. Again, I think both of them are really really stout and can inject a flock with a lot of power, a lot of back, and a lot of end. I just like the structure in the front end a little nicer there. You're a good hand here on the front end, and this one is extra stout at the ground. Big-footed, huge legs with a really good back. When you get through the wool, she touches big, she touches massive. Over her loin edge, again, we alluded to, we get out of that pair and study them in motion. She's a little rounder shouldered, a little deeper chested. I just didn't read her as athletic as your class winner. I like both those sheep very, very well. A lot of the same can be said about your sheep that lands here in third, young lady. Hampy featured. I love her hind leg set with a good look up front. Again, she's as good heighted and as fresh touching when you get down her back line. Young lady, I study her in motion, and maybe the ewe in second, maybe rounds out of her front end. I thought this ewe would roll up in her spine, and it's just a little short-hipped in the way she measures up, and I wish she came together just a bit nicer in motion. Love her standing still, though. Up-fronted, good shape when you get down her top. Same here. This one's got a length of body in the design I really, really like. Still very fresh and very youthful when you get on top of her. Buddy, for me, she's a little piecey and a little short in her hip and just a little fragile in terms of her structure when you get down to the ground. Maybe doesn't mass up with a pair of them up front there as well. We round out your top five with another good featured type of a ewe. Got a full head wool, good chops, very hampy in her feature. Like her levelness of top line as well. She's a little round in her shoulder and maybe will fall out of bounds in motion. And amongst the top five, I just didn't rate her as powerful when I got right in behind her there. We conclude with a nice pair of more up and out, more late maturing type of sheep. I really like this ewe's maturity curve from the side. She looks feminine. She's smooth shouldered. She's level in her top line. I thought she beat this ewe just off of her top line structure and looseness and motion. That was the call for me. I could stouten her up. Open her up when I get right in behind. These two are similar, standing still. I like this ewe's front end, and she's probably just a little firmer down her top. I wish she was looser in her spine. When I studied her in motion, she'll roll up there, and that's what got her beat there for me. So good class here to get us rolling. Big group with a lot of good stock. I like your class winner. Please give them all a nice round of applause, if you would.
Results of the ewe lamb, Hamp ewe lambs, under 1 year. 7th place went to Michelle Sturkle. 6th place, Michelle Sturkle. 5th place went to Oklahoma Panhandle State University show team. 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st all went to Oklahoma Panhandle State University show team. Oklahoma was first. Oklahoma first. Yes. Merkel second. Results of the pair of ewe lambs. First place went to Oklahoma's Panhandle State University show team, and second went to Michelle Sturkle. Next in the ring should be ewes, 1 year old and under 2. Ewes, 1 year old and under 2. John Deere is the official agricultural and turf equipment provider of the National Western Stock Show. Visit your local John Deere dealer for great deals now, and remember, nothing runs like a Deere.
Well, honestly, probably one of the toughest trios I've had to line out just because there's a drastic size difference and where we want to be. So, like I've always done, and I try to do each and every time when I think it's challenging, I try to find the feet and leg structure. I think it's just a little safer long term. To me, our class winner is just a little stouter in her structure, a little sounder in her feet and legs, and then accommodates that with a level top line, a good shape down her top, and just very complete in terms of her type and kind. She's given up some volume and just some mass and grow, probably the two right behind. But again, I think her feet and leg structure is what wins her the gig. It's close for me because from the three-quarter, extra growth and performance and stature found in this sheep, I really, really like. And I can live with the front two-thirds because she's up and out. She's got a good body turn, good maternal in her flank. Probably pinches a little too much for me out of her hip, and just a little frailer in her structure and a little tight wound when I study her in motion. You can switch those pair. I'll have no arguments here. I thought the feet and leg structure of your class winner just fit me a little nicer. Same where, as a young man that lands here in third, a really long body, growthy type of a ewe that looks very ladylike up through her shoulder and her front end. Of the group, when we study the three in motion, she'll kick up the most in her top line and will kind of swivel out of her hind leg from behind. Just want to level her out there on the go. So those three were very tough and will make you earn a paycheck there. I think the top pair has some challenge. If you would, if you're sitting ringside, please give them a nice round of applause. A good hand here if you would.
Champion pair goes to Michelle Sturkle. Champion pair goes to Michelle Sturkle. In the U, 1 year old and under 2, Michelle Sturkle was third, Michelle Sturkle was second, and Kylie Davies was first. Now we're entering the ring is the champion female. Champion female is what is being selected in champion Hampshire female, excuse me. Champion Hampshire female being selected at this time.
We had a very nice Hampshire show here, a couple nice classes with some good stock here. Like all four of these, as you get them out here, and hopefully if you're looking in, you might see they look just a little different as far as their type and kind. But I thought these four ewes represented nice structured, the right type of grow, yet still fit together from a show sheep balance. We don't need to talk all four of them. I thought they all, again, kind of fit just a little differently. There's a pair, I think, match up. A little stouter in their structure, a little better in terms of their balance from the outside, yet still do it with the right type of muscle there. I like the pair of them here out of the first class to follow in line for champion in reserve.
Your champion Hampshire female goes to Oklahoma Panhandle State University show team, and your reserve champion goes to Michelle Sturkle. This is best pair. I apologize. OPSU had both champion and reserve. OPSU had both champion and reserve in the Hampshire female. Right out here now is the lamb flock, one ram and two ewe lambs. One ram lamb and two ewe lambs. Oklahoma Panhandle State University show team wins that class. Now we will move right into the Southdowns. Southdowns. First class is ram lamb under 1 year. First in the ring is ram lamb under a year. Southdown, ram lamb under 1 year.
Well, just a single Southdown buck lamb here, but I think this buck has a lot of use to him. His structure is very, very nice, and then he combines it with a really nice look up through his front end. He's a good pattern, late maturing type of a buck. I don't know if his use is probably just to inject a whole lot of muscle. We could open him up out of his hip and his stifle, but that buck should be going on some stout ewes because he's very attractive. He's got a good underline and a really nice structure when you study him in motion there. Again, you could power him up just a touch, but breed character's on point as far as his nose, his head shape. Could use a little more coverage over his ears, but I like his color all the way through. I thought that was a really nice single entry. Congratulations.
Ram lamb under 1 year in the Southdown division. Melanie Zentner, and she's also champion. Next in is ewe lamb under 1 year. Ewe lamb under 1 year. Southdown ewe lambs under 1 year of age. Next in the ring.
One of the tougher groups for myself to get lined out. We saw this pair just a little bit ago, and ideally, like we talked, I'd take all three here on our top end and see what we can come up with and put them together and try to blend them out because I think they all three have class-leading advantages, and it makes it just a little challenging. Like I've tried to do, I go back to, again, feet and leg structure, and then the one that just hits me, the most expensive here from the side. I love this little boxy ewe, and she's a little smaller. Probably has just a little different task in the Southdown breed than maybe what second and third do. She looks like she can make some very square hipped, extra muscular stock that are still good in their feet and leg balance. We could soften her flank just a little bit to aid her balance from the side. She's not the best fronted, but that comes with her being so good in her shape, so good in her muscularity, and I still thought her feet and legs went together very, very well. Now, obviously, 2 and 3 maybe match up a little nicer from the profile, and she was kind of the oddball of the three. I thought the ewe in second here, really good in her condition, very good in her hide quality. I like her look up front, still very good in terms of her structure. I thought she was fresher, just through her breastbone and right in behind her shoulder than the ewe that comes in beside. We can make her a little better up there through her nose and just her ear length and her head shape for my liking, but she still fits together really, really nice. I like this ewe a lot, and she was really tough for me to figure out where I want go because I like her feet and legs, and she looks very maternal and feminine from the outside looking in. The call for me and what I had to make, she's starting to show a little more maturity through her breastbone, and then she's just a little staler in terms of her hide and her touch. Again, we could open or just fleece up her ears just a little bit if you're going to get critical. But that ewe's got a good maternal look, a good structure. I just didn't know if she was just as fresh and youthful as the pair ahead. Those three will make me earn my buck, earn my paycheck here. I thought they were very challenging. I like the structure here, the ewe that comes in 4, very loose in her top line, got a good hind leg laid into her. Of the top 4, probably just the most closed up out of her hip. When I get right in behind her, a little flatter in her overall rib shape, but I liked her structure a little nicer here. We got a big high volume ewe that comes in next. She's as growthy as anything. I like her length. I like her body type. A little plain for me, starting to wrinkle up just a little bit right in behind her shoulder and out of her tail head. We could freshen her up just a little bit. I really like this ewe's condition she shows in. She's got a big loin edge and is very, very good in her top line. Thought she was a little more youthful than the ewe that comes in behind. A little fragile and a little round-hipped when I study her in motion. Like this ewe's body type and just her mass down her top. Could open her up out of her hip, could freshen her up just a little bit there. That was a good class of Southdowns all the way through that were very challenging for me to line up.
Results of the Southdown ewe lamb under 1 year. 7th place went to Michelle Sturkle. 6th place, Michelle Sturkle. 5th place, Wyatt Heilbrun. 4th place, Wyatt Heilbrun. 3rd place went to Melanie Zettner. 2nd, Afton McIntosh. And 1st, Caden Healy Mitchell. Pair of ewe lambs in the Southdown division go to Michelle Sturkle. Michelle Sturkle. Next in, ewes 1 year old and under 2 in the Southdown division. Saunders was locally founded in 1972 and is now one of the largest and most stable construction companies in Colorado. Saunders offers well-paid positions with opportunities for career growth. Visit us at www.saundersincorporated.com for information on career opportunities.
A very tough pair because these ewes are very similar in terms of their type and kind. I'd like to lean both of them up, but I still think your class winner has just a little more of an advantage there through her chest floor and right around her tail head and her pones more specifically. She's probably not just as long-bodied and as growthy as the ewe in behind. I like her breed character just all the way down to her nose, and I like her leanness just a little bit better in relation to 2. The ewe in 2 is probably a little more massive, carrying just a little more condition than ideal for me there around her dock and her pones. We could lean her up and then gets just a little white there down to the brim of her muzzle. We can maybe make her just a little nicer in that regard. Both of them sound structured, both of them productive in their rib. I like the condition a little nicer in your winner.
Results of Southdown ewes, 1 year old and under 2. First place, Michelle Sturkle. Second place, Michelle Sturkle. In the pair of yearling ewes, it'll go to Michelle Sturkle. Next in the ring will be the Champion Drive of Southdowns. Champion Drive of Southdowns next in the ring.
A really nice Southdown U division. I thought we had 2 good groups to work through and kind of put together. There was a trio of them I thought were really, really tough. Out of the first class, the U that landed third was arguably as complete and as maternal as any of them here. Red are just a little plain as far as her rib shape and her dimension from behind, but she's certainly a good stock. We landed on a pair of them here. If you're watching online, looking in around ringside, very different as far as their type and their kind goes, and that's okay with me because I think they're both very nice. Second place, good looking, strong in her top line, very feminine and refined. Maybe not the same strength and power when you get in behind in relation to the little ewe lamb, but I liked her underline balance. I like her maturity curve a little nicer than our class winner. I told you in the earlier show, would like to just put those 2 in a blender and see what we come up with. Your class winner, very, very nice. Not only in terms of her breed character, her body shape, her width progression, her stoutness down low to handle it very, very well. She's probably a rib too long in terms of her body. We could soften her in her flank just a little bit there. We had a pair of bigger ewes that are both good in their body type, great in their structure. I like their fleshiness, and they're good in terms of maternal character. We talked, both of them could be leaned up just a little bit, and I wish we could maybe open up our class winner just a little bit when we get down her body and right in behind, and maybe doesn't have the same stoutness as the pair of them up front there. So I thought they all 4 very, very nice, and we had a really good class to sort through there. My favorites stick together, and that's the 2 young ladies here up front to be champion in reserve.
Champion Southdown female goes to Caden Healy Mitchell, and the reserve champion to Afton McIntosh. We got best pair of Southdowns, 1 ram, 1 ewe entering the ring. Melanie Zentner. And then we'll move right into the Suffolks. Best pair goes to Melanie Zentner in the Southdown division. Southdown division, best pair, 1 ram, 1 ewe, goes to Melanie Zentner. Now we're going to move into the Suffolks. In the first Suffolk class, ewe lamb under a year, Spy Club Lambs is the single entry.
Well, a really nice single entry Suffolk here. A very functional type of ewe in terms of her feet and her leg structure. Breed for breed, very stout in terms of her foot size. What I like about this ewe is she's flexible and good in her structure, but she combines that with a good rib shape, a very maternal body type, and I like her squareness when you get right in behind her. Again, maybe not just perfect up to her shoulder and her front end. We could lengthen her out just a little there, but everything still fits together nicely. Congratulations to you two. You did a good job getting her shown.
So Spy Club Lambs wins the ewe lamb under 1 year in the Suffolk division. Next out is a ram lamb, Oklahoma Panhandle State University show team is the exhibitor. This is ram lamb under 1 year in the other purebred meat breeds. Other purebred meat breeds, ram lamb under a year.
Another nice single entry buck lamb here. I like this buck's look from the side. He really runs uphill. He's got the right type of maturity curve. Again, looks like he's going to show some style and some eye appeal there from the side. He combines that with a good structure, too. Big, stout foot, really flexible in his type. Probably not just the boldest right in behind his shoulder in terms of his rib shape. And I'd probably take him to probably just a little more of a stouter, powerful type of a ewe because he's really good looking and very sound. Just need a bit more muscle when I get on top of him there. Good single entry buck lamb. My compliments to you, too.
The OPB ram lamb goes to Oklahoma Panhandle State University show team.
Well, very nice single entry white buck here for his breed composition. In terms of being a wide influence buck, great in terms of his muscle shape. When you get down his top line, very expressive top, good stifle type of a buck with some structure underneath of him. He's maybe starting to show just his masculinity up through his shoulder and his front end a little bit, but it still fits his kind and his length of body and his structure. Just a really complete type of a buck. Congratulations to you guys. Well, I think both of our options out here are very, very nice in terms of their style from the side. They have some foot and some substance underneath of them. Both of them very aggressive when you get down their top in terms of shape and expression. I do think both of them could probably be opened up just a little bit down their tops, but they handle accordingly in terms of firmness and muscle shape. Between the two, I think one of them is just a little neater in terms of his balance and his top line and the way everything fits together. I like this buck up front there. The young lady will follow in behind with the white buck for reserve. Congratulations.
Champion OPB Ram goes to Oklahoma Panhandle State University, and your reserve champion goes to Kylie Davies. Next in is ewe lamb under 1 year. Ewe lamb under 1 year. OPB ewe lamb under 1 year. Sullivan Supply is a family-owned and operated company founded in 1989. As the innovative leader in livestock show supplies, Sullivan Supply has kept the values of hard work, family ties, and quality products at its core. Sullivan Supply is proud to service the livestock industry and wishes all the exhibitors here at the National Western the best of luck.
I really like this class, and I think the two white ewes up front, the extra body shape, the extra muscle you like, yet still they both put it together in a maternal, a very feminine package. Between the pair, young guy's got a nice one up front here in the green shirt. That ewe is flawless in terms of her skeleton. She's super level down her top, and right there, she's up in her chest, soft in her flank, beautiful outline. That is a good sheep, and congratulations to Buddy. He does a good job there. Same can be said here on this ewe that lands here in two, arguably more powerful when you get to her loin, her hip, and her stifle. When you get right in behind her, I worked her up in the junior show into the top 5 because I thought she was really, really nice in terms of her rib shape, her underline, her power from behind. But in relation to our class winner there, she's probably a little coarser up through her shoulder, not as elitely sound when we study those two in motion in terms of her spine. But those two get everything out of them and do a great job there on the front end. I like both those sheep very, very well. We got another one that's very boxy and stout in terms of her structure in third, really good footed, big topped and massive when you get behind her. She's starting to show a little more maturity up through her shoulder and her front end for me. I wish I could make her just a bit more youthful and a bit more feminine there. We have that here in kind of the wool cap to you, a little tidier in terms of her shoulder, really youthful in terms of her kind. We could probably bust her apart when we get down her top line. She's got a little extra set built into her hind leg for me. This ewe is more massive than her when we get right down her top line. She's probably a little plainer up through her shoulder and her front end, a little tighter when I study her in motion. So good class way through. I really like two young men's pair there on the front end.
Results of OPB ewe lamb under a year, 5th place. OPSU show team, 4th place. OPSU show team, 3rd place. Oklahoma Panhandle State University show team, 2nd. Gavin Bachman, and the winner of the ewe lambs is Braun Lashmet. Next in the ring is pair of ewe lambs. Pair of ewe lambs. Superior Farms is committed to the care of the flock. Our employee owners believe good things come from putting the flock first. Get the story at superiorfarms.com. Weaver Livestock is committed to helping you be the very best you can be. Stop by their booth between the Junior Barn and Stadium Arena to check out their full line of show supplies backed by industry experts. Weaver is devoted to fueling your enthusiasm for showing livestock with innovative products here at the National Western Stock Show. Your lamb flock for OPBs went to Oklahoma Panhandle State University show team.
A nice pair of white sheep here, 4 good showmen on the head of them as well. Kind of like we ran into a little bit ago. I like the ewe that lands in second. She fell into an absolute scream eater up front, and the young lady's ewe she calls Sissy there. I like this ewe. She is so flawless in terms of her transitions. Got an awesome hip and hind leg laid into her. And then again, I wish I could see her out of the wool because I think her skin, her texture, her shape is so good. But man, you guys did a great job getting her dialed in. She looks the part in terms of her wool fit job. Just super, super nice from the side. I like that ewe very, very well. We'll see how she matches up here in just a bit. I like this ewe very good as well. She's probably got a little less wool on her, so what you see is what you get. She is broad and square down her top when you get right in behind her shoulder. Like her foot size as well when you study her at the ground. In relation to our class winner, we get right behind this pair. She's not as square in terms of her rump structure. That was a big call for me there. So good pair. All 4 of them did a good job getting them shown.
Winner of OPB U, 1 year old and under 2. In second place, Kylie Davies. And in first place, Harper Lashmet. Now we're looking for champion female. Champion female in the OPBs.
We had 2 really nice classes of white influence sheep here, and it's tough as a show judge because no matter which way I go here, I'm going to leave out a very nice sheep in this particular lineup. We'll talk about our seconds here. Buddy, I really like your ewe. I think she is as powerful down her top and her rear end structure as anything. Maybe a little off in her hind leg set and just a little more compact from the side, but her underline balance, she looks maternal. She's big when you get on top of her, matches it from behind, and you've done a whale of a job all day getting that thing shown. Your class winner here, so good in terms of her structure, and that was the difference for me. She's a little better in her spine and her hind leg. When I study that pair in motion, you know, she's maybe not just as overwhelming in relation to the ewe out of the last class, but everything fits. Very, very nice. I just like that ewe's kind and what she represents. Second to our second class winner, really good down her top, got a good structure laid into her, maybe not just as stout and square when we get to her hip and get right in behind. This ewe Sissy here, I like this one very, very well. And I don't have much of a poker face. I mean, this thing is lethal. From the outside looking in, just perfect in terms of symmetrical lines, big stout hind leg that knows how to boogie and grab some ground. To me, that is good stock, regardless of color there. So, again, I think all 4 of these are nice, and I feel bad having to leave a couple of them out. My favorite one's this young lady right here. She's going to have your champion. I like buddies up front there to be reserved. Congratulations to you two.
Is that going to be a fight at the house when we get home? Mom says yes. your champion goes to Harper Lashmet, and your reserve champion goes to Braun Lashmet. It might be a wrestling match when we get back to the house, decide who gets what, but that's where it is today. We got best pair, 1 ram, 1 ewe in OPBs. Oklahoma Panhandle State University is a single entry for best pair, 1 ram and 1 ewe. Colorado Farm Show is one of the largest and oldest farm shows in the nation, and the tradition continues January 28th, 29th, and 30th at Island Grove Park in Greeley, Colorado. See the latest agricultural equipment, visit over 300 exhibitors, and go to free seminars with more than 60 engaging speakers and network to create long-lasting connections. For more information, go to coloradofarmshow.com.
Well, this trio of bucks here is very, very challenging because, again, I think when you're working through a ram show and to this type of mindset, you need to think about different flocks and what they can do and what their purpose would be. I guess for me, the one that I kept coming back to in terms of combining a masculine, manly type of a look, but still looking like a show buck from the outside looking in, is the one we landed on there. He's probably just a bit more youthful than the buck in second and probably just a bit more powerful down his loin edge and his hip than the buck there in third. I like his length of body. I like his structure. structure. When you study him in motion, he's maybe just a little coarser again in his own right, but it fits him in terms of his muscle and his shape. I thought that buck was really square when he got right in behind him. Obviously, the big growth, the high-performing, massive buck is the one that lands here in 2. He has probably more just volume and mass down his top side, and when you get right in behind him, and I love just his extra top side dimension all the way through. That's why I thought he beat the buck there in 3. He's probably just a little plainer in terms of his balance in relation to your class winner, a little shorter bodied, a little heavier condition, but I liked his body shape very, very well. This guy's tricky for me to get a read on because I like his kind. He's really up-fronted, very good in terms of his shape with a good hind leg to him. And this setting where we're at in this group of 3, I didn't think he masked up. With the buck that was right in front of him, was maybe just as fresh and as overwhelming in his loin as the buck that wins. Really good outline, good silhouette. Wanted to mass him up over his loin edge, and when I got right in behind him there. So those 3 were tough. If you like a different one, not going to thumb wrestle you here. I thought they were all 3 very good.
Results of Weathersire Dam Ram Lamb under 1 year. 3rd place, Melanie Zentner. 2nd place and reserve champion, Gavin Bachman. 1st place and champion, Brett Guerra. Next in the ring will be the first class of Weathersire Dam ewe lambs under 1 year.
Well, I think this is a wickedly, wickedly good class. We jumped up in terms of number size, and again, there's some differences in terms of weight and age and size. So as I try to mesh it together, I do think these two up front are very spicy. They're very, very good. Obviously, more muscle, more bulk and power in the ewe in second. They take a lap and trot, and my goodness, is this one that wins? She hits me very, very hard. A neck a mile long, her shoulders right. She looks like a lady. Her feet and leg structure can absolutely go. When we study her in motion, she's not as thick. When you get right in behind her, has more of an FF type of a look from the outside looking in. She needs powered up just a shot, but man, there's plenty of bucks out there. That skeleton, framework, look, design, athleticism suits me very, very well. Congratulations, little young lady. You're a good hand as well. We get into the ewe here in second. I told y'all earlier she stood second in class, and I still like her. Her back is ginormous. She is packing a wagon when you get right in behind her. The big stifle, the big legs we all like with a firm back laid into her. She's a little shorter bodied, a little shorter measuring for me, and just a little coarser in the way her front end's structured. And we talked earlier, my biggest thing, I need to lay her down in her tail head. When you study her in motion, she'll kind of jet her hip up and plant a little straighter. Again, a very powerful sheep. That pair is as different as you can make them. I like them both very, very well. This ewe here is just big and massive and opened up in terms of her kind. Love her footwork, stout structured, bold-bodied, broody in terms of her kind. Maybe it works to her detriment just a little bit, starting to put just a little more chub right in behind her elbow pocket, a little staler in terms of her composition. With that, you study her in motion, a little cruder in her shoulder, a little straighter in her front end. Just want to lean that ewe up just a little bit. We have a different speed here in the 4 spot. She's a little boxier, a little smaller, a little lower to the ground. Pound for pound, though, she turns as fresh down her back as square, and her hip and her stifle as anything. We talked earlier, for me, I like the second ewe, a little shorter bodied, a little shorter measuring. We get out of the stock. We study her in motion, a little choppy, a little stilty in terms of her front structure. We got a nice, solid, fundamental blue ewe to round out your top 5. Good at the ground, good in her flank, looks maternal, looks broody from the outside. Probably needs amped up just in terms of her hip and her stifle, a little bland from the outside looking in, but I liked her feet and leg structure very, very well. We're going to quickly highlight down the line. Love the front 2/3 here. Wish I could fix her tail head and open up her hip from behind. We got a out blue brood ewe that's just a little plain, a little over the hill for me. Love the shape, love the expression here. She's a little straight and a little choppy for me in motion. Like this ewe's general balance from the outside, a little heavier in her condition, a little staler when I get down her top. Leaner one in relation to the one in front, a little flatter when I get right in behind her there. So good class all the way down the line. That's a dynamite pair there on the top end.
Results of the first class of Weathersire Dams, ewe lambs under 1 year. In 10th place, Melanie Zettner. 9th went to Melanie Zettner. 8th went to Brett Guerra. 7 went to Gavin Bachman. 6th went to Iris Lower. 5th went to Iris Lower. 4th place went to Eli Meter. 3rd place went to Afton McIntosh. 2nd to LCCC Livestock Show Team. And the winner of the first class of Weathersire Dams, ewe lamb under a year, is Tessa Henderson. Next in is the next class, second class of Weathersire Dam ewe lambs under 1 year.
Another nice class that offers a lot of challenge, and if you're sitting ringside and maybe see some different kinds and molds and fashions and like them a little different, again, no arguments here. We all see them just a little bit. There are some big size differences as we work through this class, and to me, the ewe in first and third look like they maybe came out of the ewes in fourth and fifth. So there's some challenge of where you want to be and where you want to line them out. Ideally, I thought both of these ewes up front represented the right structure that I'm after in terms of feet and legs. Between the two, pound for pound, there's no question which one's got more real steel. Working down her back line, I love the silver ewe up front. She's fresher and leaner in her condition, and it starts up front. Her breastbone, her shoulder, her scapula, from their back, her high quality and her freshness is absolutely maxed out. You know, she's not as fluffy, as fat-legged, or as soft and soggy flanked maybe as the ewe that lands here in two, but if she's square in her rump, she's bigger to the edge of her dock, significantly fresher, and just more youthful in her condition for me, and still has a beautiful look, a great outline. I like her chest, her youthfulness, her athleticism a little nicer. This ewe glows like a big ring sheep in terms of feet, leg structure, big fluffy legs. She's very smooth, and you've done a good job getting her presented. Runs uphill, good in her flank, big stout hind leg. Again, you get out of the brace and you study her out of the, just in motion. She'll drop her lower body. She's pushing just a little more fat right in behind her elbow pocket. And for me, I get to the 3/4 and I study her wedge a little rounder off in terms of her rack, a little fatter right in behind her shoulder. The narrowest part of her does become her tailhead and her hip. When I get behind her, I need to re-wedge that sheep, freshen her up, and youthful her up. That's a good pair, and if you like them a little different, again, not going to thumb wrestle you. I'm awfully scrawny. I like both of them. I just thought the ewe up front was more unique from the side. We're getting this ewe here in third, and in park, she can compete with them and run with them. Firm back, creasy muscle, and extra stout when you get in behind. A little coarser in her front structure, a little tighter wound when you study her in motion. I like the silhouette that this big ewe brings to the table from the outside. Good shouldered up front on her top line. Beacons in her loin, kicks up in her tailhead just a little bit. Hit me a little plain from the outside looking in. A big, stout, powerful brood ewe. Right at your top five. I like her muscle as much as anything. A rounder fronted, a little lower in terms of front end, and just a little round built when I study her there in motion. Another big, stout, broody blue ewe that's just a little plain when I get over her loin edge. Love the shape and power here. Just want to make her go just a little better in her spine. This ewe is really opened up, just a little soft. When I get on top of her, like the shape and cut a bit here, she's just a little fragile and a little closed up down low. So good class and a very challenging top trio there to put together.
Results of the second class of Weathershire Dam ewe lambs under a year. 9th place, Kylie Davies. 8th place, Mackenzie Jensen. 7th went to Spy Club Lambs. 6th place, LCCC Livestock Show Team. 5th place, LCCC Livestock Show Team. 4th place, LCCC Livestock Show Team. 3rd, Jordan Meter. 2nd went to Caden Healy Mitchell. And the winner of the second class of Weathershire Dam ewe lambs under 1 year is Tessa Henderson. Next in the ring is a pair of ewe lambs. Pair of ewe lambs next in the ring. Results of your pair of ewe lambs. Second place goes to Melanie Zentner, and first place, Iris Lower. Next in the ring, Weathershire Dam ewes 1 year old but under 2. Ewes 1 year old under 2 in the Weathershire Dam classification entering the ring at this time.
Another very nice class here, and a couple of these ewes are making sure they get their frequent flyer miles here. I like both these ewes still, and it hasn't changed. Both very, very good, both good in terms of their rib shape, their dimension, the youthfulness, the athleticism of our class winner still hits me spot on. Again, we talked, she's got a little extra set to her hock. To me, small trees in a very large forest. She's very rememberable. Hampy featured, kind of the brown ears, the dapple hide, and then a beautiful look when you study her there in motion. An extra stout one that's creasy and very, very opened up when you get in behind her. Again, she's just a little coarser and a bit more mature there through her shoulder and her front end. Not as athletic as we asked those two to go. Wildly good pair, though, no doubt about it. 3, 4, and 5, I thought had some challenge as well. I thought this ewe is just the next most fundamental in terms of her structure. Good built, nice topped, and very broody in terms of her kind. A little stale when I get on top of her and probably just want to freshen her up in her condition. Between these two ewes, I thought this ewe was really, really bold down her top and just a little square when I got to her hip. She's probably a little shorter bodied, a little shorter cannon, and we can give her just a bit more look and motion. But I thought she was a little better out of her hip here. Good looking one that's extra athletic and very feminine in terms of her type and kind. Between the pair, I wanted to open her up just a little bit at her tail head and her dock, just a little bit there. So good pair of them there, and I thought that top end was very good as well. Please give them a good round of applause here, if you would, around ringside.
Results of the Weathershire Dam ewe 1-year-old and under 2 in 5th place, Kylie Davies. 4th place went to Kylie Davies. 3rd, Sophie Barant. 2nd place went to Tessa Henderson, and the winner of that class was Lorraine Cox. Best pair, 1 ram, 1 ewe next in the ring. Best pair, 1 ram, 1 ewe next in the ring. Brett Guerra and Melanie Zentner. My fault, champion. Champion female's next. Champion female is next. Should have read the small print.
I was like, well, maybe I forgot to give you your sticker.
Champion female's next in the ring.
We got a really nice lineup out here to represent your Weathershire division. And before we go any further, like we've done a couple times today, if you guys would, these showmen are very good. The quality of stock's been great. Please put your hands together. Give them a nice round of applause here, if you guys would. I thought all 3 of these classes offered a little challenge just to get lined out and figure out where you wanted to be. We started out with a pair of them in the first class, completely different as type and kind goes, but I thought the ewe that won just a little more extras in terms of her skeleton from the outside. A long body, good looking ewe that's very, very fresh. She'll maybe separate a little in her loin edge, not as stout in terms of her tail head as a few. Maybe we'll get just a little piecey on us in terms of her balance, but she is extra good in terms of length, athleticism. Her look up front, second to none here in the lineup. The blue ewe is extra stout, extra muscular, and she's in the mix for those reasons. A little coarser fronted, a little up in her tail head, but I liked her kind very, very well. this pair of them offered a lot of challenge as well because they're at different stages of development in terms of their lifespan. I liked our class winner because I thought she was just a bit more youthful and a bit fresher and more genuine than the sheep that came in behind. A little leaner, a little neater fronted, and still just a little square in terms of her rump structure. Out here, in relation to a couple others, she's probably a little skinny flanked, a little raw still in terms of her kind, but I thought her look would need to be here in the lineup. We talked about the second ewe, super stout at the ground, very broody, runs uphill, probably pushing a little more condition for me than ideal, and then mainly just want to open her up and level her up in terms of her hip and her tail head. She'll get a little squatty in that regard. These two are very, very nice, and I've liked them both from the moment they hit their nose in the ring earlier. The one that's second, extra stout, still balances really, really good. Class winner, a freakazoid in motion, still matches it when you get here from the side. So I thought there's maybe a challenge on who needed to be reserved here in the grouping of them. Again, there's a pair of them I come back to. I never get a bad look. They always look right, and they're dialed in and spot on and ready to play. I like these two out of the last group to be champion in reserve.
You're out of the last class of Weathershire Dams, ewes 1 year old and under 2. Came the champion and the reserve champion. The champion went to LaRae Cox, and the reserve champion, Tessa Henderson. In the ring is best pair. 1 ram, 1 ewe. Best pair. Results of best pair. Second place, Melanie Zentner. First place, Brett Guerra. Results of Lamb Flock. Lamb Flock went to Melanie Zentner. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready for our Supreme Champions. Supreme Champion, we will do rams first. If you had a champion ram in any of these divisions, any of these breeds, we need you to come back in for Supreme. Just the champions. Champion ram out of each breed will come back in for Supreme. Champion ram out of each breed will come back in for Supreme.
Well, as we're starting the wrap up here in your sheep show, we had a good buck lineup. Just 4 of them represented out here, and obviously the 2 bucks up front have to show in a little more wool due to their breed type, and then we got some slick rams in behind. So you probably have to mesh some things out in your mind and figure out where you want to be. Taking nothing away from these 2 bucks in the middle, I like the look there. The one second in line, probably just a little flatter in terms of his rib shape. The Southdown I really like, just from a basic build and outline and skeleton standpoint. You need to probably amp him up in terms of his hip and his stifle, as we talked earlier. Comes probably between the Hampshire and more the weather type for me back behind. In between the 2, both are muscular, both are round in their body shapes, and more importantly, when I get to the 3/4, I like both their width progressions. Just from the top of their shoulder to the base of their pin bone, they're both wedged extremely, extremely well. Between the pair, I think one of them is probably just a little safer in terms of his structure, a little more fluid in terms of his front stride. I like his athleticism out of his hip and hind leg a little nicer as well. So 4 very nice bucks. My favorite one's the young man up front there. He'll be your champion. Congrats.
Your Supreme Ram goes to Oklahoma Panhandle State University Livestock Show Team. Next in the ring is Supreme Female. Supreme Female next in the ring.
All right, as we wrap up here today, again, not going to take too long. I'm not a big grand drive speech guy. Pretty green to life and don't have much knowledge and wisdom to you parents here around ringside. But again, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to Jennifer, all the ring help, everybody, our announcer here. It's been a privilege of mine and, again, a dream to judge here at the National Western since I came here quite a few years ago with the judging team and have been back since. And my kids are sitting at the hotel right now, hopefully watching, so I'm going to say that in case they didn't hear it if they're not. But this has been a pleasure, and, again, I'm going to be here for quite a few days as we work down the line. This sheep show was really, really good, and almost wish we could maybe take one of them out of the lineup and see what we could do from there. There's so many nice sheep that have hit the ring today. The showmen have been very, very good. We only get to pick a Supreme, and like we said a couple times, it's a little stubborn for me because we're going to leave some good stock out of a good lineup here. There's one of them for me that just embodies athleticism, freshness, and has a spot on, just next level type of a look. We got some really good stock here that are going to get left out. So before we go any further, we're going to get you a Supreme here. Thank you for letting me have my opinion today. Get to work with you young people. It's been a great group here. Good luck to you guys down the road. Please give a nice big round of applause here. Safe travels home, and God bless.
LaRae Cox is your Supreme ewe. Supreme Ewe goes to LaRae Cox. Ladies and gentlemen, before you take off, again, let's give a thank you to Connor Brew. You've done a great job today. Okay, he'll be back on Tuesday for the Market Lamb Showmanship, but he did a great job today. Thank you. Be careful. 9 o'clock in the morning. 9 o'clock we start the show tomorrow morning. Thank you. Be careful on the roads.